So in this video, we're gonna go over what kind of homes you can find in Williamsburg and Brooklyn. So I would say it comes to no surprise that Williamsburg is a very, very trendy neighborhood, and it definitely comes with a very expensive price tag. So I would have to say, as a real estate agent, probably some of the craziest, most unique apartments I've ever seen have been in Williamsburg. And I shouldn't even say just apartments, because there are some really, really nice townhomes in this neighborhood as well. And that brings me to my next point, where you can find literally a little bit of everything in this neighborhood. Now, I would say mostly you're gonna be looking at apartments here, and these aren't always gonna be your typical apartment. Williamsburg has a very lofty industrial feel, and some people love that about the neighborhood, and other people it's not exactly their style. And I understand both sides to it. I do really appreciate a lofty industrial style home, but at the same time, it's not the only thing that they have in Williamsburg. And they also have some newer builds, new construction that is definitely more of a modern day classic feel, I would say. And also Williamsburg does have a good amount of walk-ups as well. So as I said, you can literally find any type of home in this neighborhood. Now, when you're comparing it to almost anywhere else in Brooklyn, and even comparing it to some places in Manhattan, Williamsburg is very, very, very expensive. Why is that? Honestly, there are so many amenities in this neighborhood. Williamsburg is one of those neighborhoods where you honestly don't really have to leave the neighborhood. You could literally just stay in Williamsburg at all times, and you can have everything right there. You will have dining, nightlife, fitness options, grocery stores, other types of shops. It's literally all here. So I say that compared to some Manhattan neighborhoods, Williamsburg can be a little pricey. But there are, of course, some areas in Manhattan where you're definitely going to be able to save money by living in Williamsburg for a apartment that is pretty much comparable in square footage. So one thing about the high rises in Williamsburg is you could get an apartment with really, really, really amazing views of Manhattan. That is also a reason why, of course, it's pricey, because everybody loves the views of Manhattan. That's the one thing that people in Manhattan don't get, is views of the Manhattan skyline, because they're in the skyline. So I love the views from Williamsburg. I do have to say, they're absolutely amazing from some of these units. So I would say, if I'm working with someone and they're set in Williamsburg, it almost could be a little bit overwhelming because there's so many different types of homes that you can find here. So I would say that the best way to find a home here is to really figure out what exactly you want, what style of apartment you like, what's important to you. Could you do a walk-up? Do you need a doorman building? What things matter to you? And then go from there, because it's such a range here that you can just get overwhelmed with all the options just in one neighborhood. One thing to also note about living in Williamsburg, especially when you're comparing it to Manhattan, is another thing that I really, really love about this neighborhood is you can find a lot of homes really, really nice outdoor space, whether that be just a balcony or a full-on terrace or a patio. There's so many options when it comes to outdoor space. And that's honestly something that Brooklyn is always going to have over Manhattan, because in Manhattan, there's literally just not enough room for so many homes to have this outdoor space. But it's definitely not the case in Brooklyn. So it's always going to cost you a little bit of money to have that outdoor space. I definitely want you to think about if you're going to actually utilize it or not. But I'm the type of person that if I had outdoor space, I would 100% use it, probably at most times of the year, even when it's freezing cold here. So I really do think that having so many outdoor space options in this neighborhood is just incredible. Honestly, I'm just jealous thinking about it, because I would just love to have a terrace. I would love it. So I know this was a brief video, and I know it also kind of covered a lot, because honestly, there's just so much to cover in Williamsburg. And we're going to do more detailed videos kind of explaining specifically some of the different real estate and the different options for you. There's just so much to talk about with Williamsburg that it's hard to kind of give you an overview in just one video. That's why I really do think I need to make more content about this. So I would love to know, would you guys ever live in Williamsburg, or have you lived in Williamsburg before? I would love to hear your stories, because as always, I love hearing from you guys.